everybody.
Hey,
Sons of Vidya.
How's it going, guys?
Sons of Vidya.
It's Sons time.
We are back. We're like a black peoples without the L. We're back, peoples.
That's funny. I'm laughing right now.
You're really laughing.
Laughing on the inside.
You're laughing a lot. Anyway, we're back. Episode, was it 16?
Guys, episode trace.
What happened to those 10 other ones? 13 other ones?
They were deemed unacceptable by the FCC.
Too good.
Too good.
Too
That's
good, everybody. Too good. They're
so good. They're so good. You're spiking the charts.
We can barely release this one.
Yeah.
We haven't made it yet. We haven't even made it yet.
That man's trying to keep us down.
They know. They know it's going to be great. Listen, guys. You're letting your voice be heard. We've gotten all the emails. There's some legit emails. But a lot of people want to work for us.
You guys can't get enough of the Suns, and we appreciate that.
They're seeing the building. It's got a space station on it. They're saying, how do I get to work for those guys?
How do I get myself a corner office in that their space station?
We have a full office and 0 employees. And I'll tell you, that's on purpose.
Yeah.
We can't have just anyone working here. We have a record of success.
Here's what we have. You got Tom C., you got me, D. Marks, you got Jurge, and then you have our super sophisticated unnamed AI system that does all the other processes of this podcast.
Yeah, including nothing, because we do all of it.
Yeah.
It's like a janitor thing.
It really is. Although, if you've never seen a computer mop up an after release party, it's a sight to see, because they are very efficient.
Very efficient.
They are not turned off by puke smell.
No, they're not turned off by anything. Except the button.
And the power cord also.
Yeah, well, no, the batteries. What kind of computer doesn't have a battery now? It's like a Roomba.
The computer we're using right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's one of the issues.
I mean, technically, I'm sure it does have a battery in there somewhere, but not anything that could run it without the actual AC adapter.
That's true. But, guys, here's the deal. You can't work for us. Just get over it.
I
wouldn't like them to work for us because they're not good enough. No offense to the listener. They're great. They're great. Okay, imagine we have a list of people, right? We're clearly S-class. Then there's the rest of the letters. Like, you can't be an A-class worker.
For the record, S is at the top. It's above A, for those who might not know.
It's barely even on a chart.
Yeah.
It's above it so much that it's basically a separate chart.
It's almost a secret letter.
Well, once you get to the S charts, then you have numerical order.
Yeah.
But right now in the A's charts, which is all you normals, we call them normies.
Doesn't it go up to R?
No.
I thought like R1 was like the top.
R2 is the top of the S charts.
Yeah.
Which is, it's lower than a Z chart, but it's before the X and Y charts.
What does that compare to a pie chart?
Pie charts are a different sort of chart.
Are you sure?
Every chart is on a pie chart. You can have an X, Y, and Z chart
of a pie
chart.
What about a line chart?
No, there's no such thing. There's never been a line chart.
Interesting.
What they did was they taught you that in school just to confuse you, to bring you down. They want you to fail. Anyway, you can't work here, guys. There's no positions. What are you going to do? You're going to write reviews for us? No. You're not going to write reviews for us.
Guys, this is an entirely in-house podcast.
We do all the work for you. That's why you can't do any of the work for us. Because it's done. You may think we're just world-class broadcasters. No. We are world-class writers, if you've ever been to the blog.
Writeteers.
You've been to the blog. I know you have. The blog's blown up.
Yeah, server capacity's down all over the place.
You wanted to go to the blog, but it's down because there's so many people going to the blog.
We've had several fake fan blogs set up, which I do not endorse, but I also don't condemn.
How did you get these pictures of me, guys, at my incredible pool on the spaceship? You candid people posting to their blog spots.
You know, I gotta be
Tumblrs.
Like, I gotta be honest.
Instagrams.
100% honest. I don't know why we ever put a swimming pool in the spaceship.
Because it's hot. Remember?
Yeah, but we would be in space. Why would you need a swimming pool?
We did it after it got on top of the building.
I was not aware of that. I thought it was always there.
Well, you clearly haven't been exploring as much as I have.
I don't go to the left wing.
I know you're in there spending all your time playing the Vidya, and so you don't have time to explore for pools.
That's because I care about this podcast and I care about the listener.
Honestly, I'm playing the Vidya too all the time, but I asked the robot about it. That's how I prepared for this, because I knew we'd be talking about this pool.
I feel like we should name the robot.
We've already named it, but we're forgetting it right now until we remember it for another time.
That's true.
Guys, we know the name.
Get ready for next week's podcast. Big reveals.
Big reveals.
Big reveals.
Guys, if this doesn't make any sense to you, then you're ready for this whole segment. Today's segment, this week's segment, actually, is games with a really stupid or illogical plot point that makes no sense at all.
We're talking plot holes, people. Huge plot holes.
Like, you're going to lose the whole audience.
I know.
The thing is, you might want to say right here, oh, well, Mario jumps on turtles. That's dumb. How is that not on the list?
How does he not know the princess is in another castle? This is like the 5th time.
Come
You think
on.
he'd learn by now?
Just don't go to that. Just figure it out. Get a map.
Just go straight to Bowser. Don't go to the lesser guys.
No, that's not what we're talking. We're talking about games that
Too obvious.
are relatively realistic. Like games that, in theory, everything else is following normal protocol for how humans are alive and do stuff.
Yeah.
And basically,
There's one exception here, but that'll come
there's
later.
almost 2 exceptions.
Yeah, true.
You see the list, people. Oh, you can't see the list? Maybe we'll post the list to the Blogspot some part. We're not going to do that.
Can't let you in on the secrets.
No, dude. Notepad. Secure. Anyway.
The highest encryption of notepads.
But what you got to know is that it's basically, I think most of them are in relation to how a character makes a decision that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, for the most part. That seems to be the case.
So we're going to start right off. We could have done this whole series.
Yeah, we talked about it because this is a series that is known by both critics and fans to just be almost covered in plot holes.
By the way, this isn't a top 5. Don't get confused. It's just ones that we thought of.
It's just a list.
Ones that we thought of and probably have mentioned before to each other, and that's why you're getting to join in on the discussion.
But this first game, literally, it's like if you had a block of Swiss cheese and like all the holes. Like the Swiss cheese, like the cheese itself is the plot.
You're working real hard to get here, dude.
I didn't start it off right. It was poor execution. But they get what I'm saying.
You didn't start it off well, and you didn't... Actually, the whole thing was bad.
I started off poor. I continued poorly.
Negativity podcast, that's what I'm bringing.
Started poorly, continued poorly, and then this whole end part is also very poor.
In all fairness, transparency, you didn't even want to do it today. You wanted to give up. You handed in your resignation. And I was not going to have it. I said, get on that podcast. Get on the podcast.
That is not what happened.
Anyway, this is my favorite game of the series, people. And no one's going to agree with me on this.
I
Metal
thought
Gear
you said
Solid
it
2.
wasn't. I thought you liked Peace Walker more now.
I think I'm changing my mind. Because it's more cool.
Changing your mind back?
It's cool. It's cooler to say you like 2 over Peace Walker, even though Peace Walker is a better game.
Anyway, yeah. Metal Gear Solid 2.
Here's the thing about this game.
That was a really cool...
we should probably do it. We should do it simultaneously on all of them. Yeah. So here's the deal, guys. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't make sense. So we're going to point out one of the most obvious.
We're going... also, this whole segment is pretty much going to be fraught with spoilers.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. But most of these games are fairly old.
Yeah, so you've had some time.
Just go into the future, having heard what we just said, then go back to the past and erase your memory, and then play all the games before you listen to this.
Yeah.
Or something. Anyway... the issue is in Metal Gear...
I wish we were doing that other one right now, the one that has to do with time travel, because he talked about going to the past.
So anyway, in Metal Gear Solid 2...
Sorry.
So eventually, in the story, very late in the story...
This is the end, literally the end of the game.
You discover that Solidus, the main...
antagonist,
he's a pro-antagonist. You discover that he is actually, like, the most good person in the whole game.
You figure out that Solidus wants to free... America from the slavery of this shadowy Illuminati-like organization known as the Patriots, and his whole plan to take over Arsenal Gear and like the whole Metal Gear project is just so that he can free the common American schlub from the reign of these terrible people who are making all the decisions,
making every decision, including all the bad ones, on purpose.
And then
he's the best character in all of Metal Gear, as far as wants the best things for people.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you could say Solid Snake. He didn't want anything bad. Well, one of the best big characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Solid Snake was a fairly minor character.
Well, in as far as the story of the game, he sort of was. He just basically prevented everything.
That's a pretty big thing, I'd say.
Yeah, I stand down on that point.
He was the main protagonist of like most of the franchise.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying of people who are making the major world changes.
This is off topic.
We're not going to talk about this. Anyway,
you almost got us, listener.
Solidus is he's just a good person.
And how?
He's smart enough to know what he needs to do to fix the entire world.
How does player-controlled protagonist Raiden/Jack do? What's his response to this?
It goes ahead and kills him.
Straight up murders him.
You might be saying, well, I played the game, he killed Raiden's family or whatever. It's some dumb, stupid, fabricated thing that was just so you'd have a reason to kill him.
No, well, if George Washington killed my family, but then he was like, oh, also, let's really kick these British out of here, I'd be like, George, you...
That sucked.
Also, family, I love you, and I don't want George Washington to kill you.
Yeah. Listen. I forgot what I was going to say.
But it's ridiculous. Why? Especially because Raiden is literally told this not only by Solidus, who I could understand if your enemy told you, well, I'm actually a good guy. Maybe you wouldn't believe it. But he was literally told this by the Patriots. Raiden was.
The entire game, Raiden is being misled.
Yeah.
The entire game is being misled by GW and the Patriots, who are literally the bad guys.
And then
they... Of the Earth, of the whole world.
Then they tell him that. Straight to his face.
And despite knowing this, he decides, well, I'm still going to do it.
You know what? This seems like a good idea.
I know I've been totally misled this whole time, but that guy killed my dad, theoretically.
You know what? I think these Patriots know a little something.
He has no context of anything, and he still chooses to go through with it, despite the fact that the people telling him are obviously untruthful the entire time.
Except for the fact they're being truthful right now by telling him that they're being untruthful the whole time.
It's so stupid. Just... Why? I know the whole thing is Raiden's supposed to be sort of,
naive.
Yeah. But no one would make that choice. Maybe if you were impassioned in the moment, but he was barely impassioned in the moment.
Well, he was barely impassioned that whole game.
Yeah. But you'd be, if you were really in that situation, you'd be kind of flabbergasted by the whole incredible situation you were just put in.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't be like, well, I have to kill this guy. You'd be like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'd walk away.
Just think about it, listener. We're going to go into the second one on our list.
Number 2, this is a game we talked about last week, about how it was one of the best games of this generation, a little game called BioShock.
Here's the thing about this.
Actually, now that I look at the list, a lot of these are the best games of the generation.
Well, we played them a lot. Here's the thing about BioShock. It's later explained in the story why this makes sense. However, to you, the player, it makes no sense at all. When you first get to Rapture, or not even Rapture, when you first get to the bathysphere that goes down to Rapture, you basically go in there because you were in a plane crash, as far as you, the player, knows.
Right.
And I guess you're trying to get help or get home or whatever. Then you go into this crazy circumstance that makes no sense at all, and you're talked to by some complete random stranger, Atlas. At this point, you don't know who he is. He's just some guy who's radioing you. And he tells you what to do, and he tells you to murder people, and he tells you to change your DNA, and you just do it. And you have no idea why you'd want to do this at all.
Now, it's explained later in the game that the Would You Kindly is the vocal trigger to get Jack to do all the things that Fontaine/Atlas wants him to do.
But you don't know that yet.
And since he always prefaces all his commands with "Would you kindly," then he does it. But as Tom said, you don't know that. As the player,
if you, the player, kind of take a step back and look at what you're doing, you'd say, "This is totally insane. Why would I ever do this?" Like, in theory, it's so that he can find a way to get back home. But that plot, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean...
He's in there and he just starts murdering people.
If you crash land into the Atlantic, and then there's a lighthouse there, and then there's this elevator that goes down...
That no one has ever seen before in history, because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And it goes magically underwater to a super underwater city. You're going to start randomly killing people because some guy's telling you should? They're trying to kill you, but barely.
Yeah.
The whole thing is ridiculous. I admit it's sort of shaky, this one, because we eventually find out why. But if you were first time playing this game and you thought about it, you'd be like, I don't understand why I'm going through with these actions.
It's just a weird it's a weird plot device.
And they do make it make sense later, but just think about it next time you do it.
Next time.
Anyway, you do number 3 because that was more my point.
That's fine. All right, number 3, also best game of the generation from last week. Borderlands. So we talked about last week how pretty much the story in Borderlands doesn't matter at all. So this is kind of weird that we'd be talking about it. But it is a point that we brought up a few times as we've been playing, doing one of our millions of run-throughs that we did. And that's, why does the destroyer need to just be destroyed now? What's the importance?
Yeah. If you don't know, this is a big spoiler. The vault that you've been hunting for this entire game, which is supposed to be filled with riches and women and all sorts of things that you are essentially...
This is the Accent Podcast.
You're essentially there to get, because you're crazy treasure hunters. What you're told by this crazy angel thing that you have no idea
this hallucination that you see.
That goes into your computer brain thing that's given to you by the robot guy. Basically, eventually it reveals to you that it's going to be a monster. And by eventually, I mean as it's happening.
Yeah. It tells you that the vault will have a monster in it roughly 5 seconds after you defeat the vault monster.
And it's revealed that every 200 years the vault is open. And it's...
No, not even that the vault is open, that it can be opened.
Yeah, that it can be opened. So for some reason you go to this planet and this angel contacts you. And so then you go there and you have to kill this monster. But couldn't the angel have just told you there's a monster there that you have to kill? Like, why?
Also, the whole point that the destroyer is sealed away is to keep it from destroying things.
Yeah.
Now, that seemed to be working pretty well, considering how not destroyed all of Pandora was.
Yeah, even though it came out, it was still easily killed by conventional weapons.
Yeah.
By the way.
The most conventional weapons.
Angel
or some dude just freaking punching it to death.
The angel even says, well, in this realm it's weak. So then who cares? Who cares if it comes to this realm? Because it's weak here.
We have spaceships with giant guns on them.
What are we talking about? Why do we have to do this? Why was it her job to completely get us to do this? Why couldn't she just let the military who's trying to open it, and then defeat it?
Yeah.
There are no treasures in the vault. There's just a monster. So why don't we get this military unit to defeat it? Because they're, like, basically evil.
Right.
So why don't they just go do it? Why didn't she ask this evil group, or not even ask them because they were going to do it anyway, to do it and then get wiped out? Because they could have just as easily defeated it.
Yeah. Imagine if you had some of those destroyers from General Knox, some of those mobile suit type things.
Yeah.
They would have ripped that apart.
They would have eventually come.
They were level 58. The destroyer's only like level 37, I think.
The destroyer's not even nearly the strongest thing in the game.
Yeah.
Cromarax is there the whole time.
Yeah, just get Cromarax to do it. It's called the Invincible.
He cannot be defeated by anything except for a very, very, very good team.
And I don't think that the destroyer could hit its weak spots.
It absolutely could not. It's just ridiculous. It didn't need to be done by us, that's for sure.
Yeah. Somebody else could have taken care of this.
Yeah. Okay, next one.
All right, this is one.
That's how I'm going to do everyone. This is the next one. It's like I'm a kid writing a paper.
I was about to say, no transitions.
My second point is that
And in conclusion,
President Lincoln was a great guy because he wore a stovetop hat.
Pipe.
My next point
is
that Lincoln had a beard. My next point...
See, this is why I think you didn't do well in school.
I still write like this, so hopefully people will like it in the reviews.
Well, I think your 7 Pulitzers would speak to that.
Yeah. I like to get things there and people know about it. They don't want to hear the fancy words. They want to hear the next point is.
Yeah.
It's like let's get to it, they say.
So after that classic Tom C. transition...
You're going to point out every transition I do that's classic? They're all going to be classic.
That's true. I waste a lot of podcast airtime. Anyway.
The podcasters trying to waste their time. They know that.
That's true. We're talking right now about God of War DOS.
I haven't played this, so I'm going to leave this one to you.
I thought you did play it.
I think I did, but I forgot everything about it.
Well, that's fair. Anyway, the point of that, the major plot hole here, and this is it's a short one, but it's a pretty major one. And really, I could practically just sum it up with one sentence. In God of War 2, Kratos gets the ability to control time and fate. I don't think I really need to go much more into that, because pretty much all problems that Kratos have can be solved through the manipulation of time and fate. He could have gone back in time and destroyed the barbarian army that got him into the deal with Ares in the first place. Could have gone back and saved himself from murdering his own family. Could have gone back in time from getting... Well, he did go back in time and stop him from getting all his power drained by Zeus. He could have gone back in time and murdered the parents of the barbarian warlord who was about to murder him in the battle where he made his deal with Ares. He could have done literally limitless things with the ability to control time and fate. And what he ended up doing with it was like an extremely short-sighted thing to go back and just get revenge on Zeus.
I mean, the whole game is focused around how Kratos is totally nuts and wants to get revenge all the time.
He's not the smartest bulb in the knife drawer.
But come on. No one would be given that gift and say, well, I'm going to kill that guy.
Let me just pop back a few months.
If I had the power to stop time, you know what I'm going to do with it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Catch up on all your reading.
Yeah. I'm going to stop time. I'm going to read all the books that I love to read. The Hunger Games, kids. You kids like Hunger Games? I'm going to read the whole series.
Twice.
It's going to be so good. Let's watch all the movies. Anyway.
Yeah. That's
sorry, guys, if you like the Hunger Games.
We're gonna lose half the audience on that.
Yeah, and then I'll direct them to a Wikipedia page about Battle Royale, which I don't even care if it's that close, but it's definitely better.
Probably.
F off.
It's Japanese, of course it's better.
It's Japanese.
I'm so Japanese.
Anyway. I can't go too much into that because it seems to be so obvious.
Yeah. Anyway, last but certainly not least.
You're going to hear about this game every single effing podcast. Hopefully, very unlike a certain thing that's been mentioned every single podcast.
That'll come back. If
it comes back, I swear to God. It's not even a joke at this point. It's not funny. It's only if you even. I'm not joking. I have knives. I have weapons. I have any sort. I have no limit to the amount of pain I can deal to you.
That's right. We're talking Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, Fallout New Vegas. Here's the deal about that game. It's actually pretty well written.
Yeah. There are some
plot hole right there. The game is too well written.
It's too good. I don't like it. I don't trust it.
Should have set you off right there.
Now the characters are all very well written. It's a good story. I like it a lot. There's just one big problem, and it's not even that he's written poorly, because I like him as a character, but that is Sir Robert House.
Is that really Robert?
Yeah. It's
How'd I never even know that?
Oh.
Jeez, I don't know. It's kind of showing my weakness.
Well, it's not. For the record, he isn't a sir. I just kind of did that to be funny.
All right, well. I want to know what your first point is, because I have a different point.
Well, my first point was originally the whole idea that pretty much all of House's plans revolved around A, finding the platinum chip after 200 years of nuclear war, which he did do.
Which is, first of all, totally unbelievable. A lot of people might be like, no, it's possible. No, it's not very much possible. That would be totally crazy to do.
Well, I think
it's a desert.
Well, I think because I think they talked about this. I think the facility that the platinum chip was made at was one of the levels in one of the other Fallout games that they explored. So it's possible that people went around exploring it, and then he heard that the platinum chip got discovered or something.
Yeah, but still.
But also, then even once he got the platinum chip, the entire plan also then required someone, not him, to go to the fort and activate the Securitytron forces there.
Yeah. By the way, he's not doing any of this. He can't do it.
Yeah. So he needs.
He can't even have his robots do it because of a strategic placement by Caesar.
Yeah.
He couldn't have anybody he knows do this thing that is the only way he could possibly achieve victory here.
Yeah. The self-admitted only way that he can achieve victory.
Yeah. My point is slightly different, even though we could do more about the other point. Everyone always talks about how he is so secure because he has Securitron Army. He could still get blown the F up by a bunch of stuff. Like, you may be saying, oh, well, he has missile defenses. He could block against nukes. He couldn't block against artillery, first of all. And I know your point is, well, he lives in a bunker. That's fine. Fine, he lives in a bunker. But now, another point that you brought up that I'm saying instead of you, because I'm going to take all your credit, it's extremely easy to get into his place.
Yeah. I mean, as long as your science skill is 75, or you have the platinum chip...
Or you just find the card.
Yeah.
You have to find a security card.
Couldn't
someone just blow a hole open into the thing and then get to the elevator with the security card?
Yeah, what if someone just took a flight of vertibirds up there and blasted open the window and,
There's just windows there.
Yeah.
There's just windows on the level to the elevator that gets you out. It's not secure at all.
Also, one of the key cards to get into House's secret, life compound is in the NCR Ranger camp. Actually, maybe they had that there because they were planning on taking him out with Rangers.
Regardless,
I'm taking that back to now it's really cool, because I think they were trying to assassinate him eventually.
Yeah, but you know what that means? It means his plan is totally faulty and he has tons of insecure things.
Yeah.
He easily could have been taken out.
Yeah.
His plan is totally based off complete luck. There's no chance that anyone could rely on these things definitely happening.
Yeah.
But he likes to act like he's the smartest guy ever.
Don't get me wrong.
I planned all this stuff.
Don't get me wrong. If you take all the luck out of the plan, House is a good strategist for the most part. It's just a few things along the way that kind of fall short.
But to believe that these things would definitely happen, and sure that you'd be able to defend a war that you were confident was going to happen and does happen,
yeah,
you would have to be totally crazy. The whole thing is crazy. Because he even doesn't know things when you come to see him. He doesn't know, he was going to have a different courier go and deliver that thing, but then that courier chooses not to. How would he have predicted that?
Yeah, he hears all about it. He's like, you're not the guy I sent. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be something? How is that? That's something he already doesn't know.
Yeah.
He barely knows anything, but he still acts like he has the best plan.
Also, he doesn't know about Yes Man or Benny's entire plan.
How would you not know about something you created that's on your system going out of the system? When you have complete, mind control over every single thing on your system. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. I really do like House as a character. I think he's a cool guy.
I know, but a lot of people think he's by far like the best and the most smart and like has everything planned out and he's only good, but he's just not. He's just some random warlord.
Yeah,
NCR all the way.
No, they make the point in the game constantly. Like even in the end, they're like, Mr. House is a total tyrant. Like he totally wants to control everything.
But people who played it for like one time are like, well, this House guy seems nice.
You know what? He's better than the NCR.
Guys, do your research. Play the game. If you haven't played the game yet and you're listening to this podcast, what are you doing?
I don't know what you're doing.
I don't think you're really listening if you're doing that.
Yeah,
I think you're just hearing it.
I don't think you're heeding.
One ear and out the other, guys.
Heeding our words.
No, we're not. We're not in this game because we're stupid. We got to this exalted position because we're the best.
You listen to last week's episode about how we're the best.
They can listen to this episode and hear we're the best, but we
have empirical evidence as opposed to...
Well, we have empirical evidence of us saying it.
Yeah, that's a good point, too.
That's not really evidence of anything. If I wrote a book report about how I said something and used that as a source, it wouldn't make any sense. The point barely made any sense.
And we'll be back.
Hey, we're back.
Welcome back.
Over the break, Mr. D said he was a uniphone.
That's really what you're going to start with?
He put a microphone on his forehead. So he's a uniphone, guys. This is the kind of stuff you missed during the break. I didn't want them to miss it. Because that's going to be it's going to be the funniest part of the whole podcast.
You're going to hear a lot of chair noises. You're going to hear a lot of me rustling around
a lot of thumb-ferrawing.
I wasn't in correct podcast positions.
He was not prepared for me to let go of his incredible uniphone joke.
Yeah, I can't believe you started with that.
I really liked it. I don't want to forget it. It's more for me than it was for you.
It's like putting it into a sound time capsule. My levels are really low. What's the deal with that? Because I'm like right here. Yeah.
No, you're doing just fine. Look at that.
Before I looked a little quiet.
Well, you're much further away.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. I gotta speak up a little bit.
This guy, he's a traveler.
Listen.
He gets in that chair, in that podcast throne, we call him, and he just travels around the room and eventually gets too far from the mic.
Listen, dude.
You're talking quieter, too.
I'm not talking quieter, I don't think.
You're not talking quieter, you're talking smarter. Anyway.
Okay.
Guys, here's the deal. We've been getting emails from you.
We want to address a few things.
A lot of questions. A lot of questions been coming to the Sons, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, we like
very much appreciate it. We appreciate all emails, all of them. And you know what? We enjoy reading them. It's going to be our first time, but I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I think what was really missing from the past couple of podcasts was our lack of listener interaction.
Yeah, you guys deserve it.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah.
You know what? We appreciate the letters, and we want you guys to get the time you deserve. However, we're not going to mention any of your names. Sorry.
I'm going to mention names. I'm going to break ranks here.
Okay, I'm not going to mention any of your names.
I'm going to do it.
Okay, you can make up names for the ones that I'm reading.
Okay, deal.
Okay.
All right, this first one is from Bob Senior.
Is it a question or a comment?
This is a questionment.
Okay.
He is asking
How many questionments do we have?
I think we only have 2 this week.
What? We have thousands of things in the inbox.
A questionment is because Bob Senior is his name. Bob Senior is a grammar professor at NY University, and we only had 2 grammar professors write in, and they're really the only people who know about questionments.
Well, maybe people who have listened to another podcast would know about it.
Well, a grammar podcast, maybe.
Yeah, those are the only other kind besides this one. That's why we're number 1 in the charts.
Anyway, so
we're the only faux comedy podcast.
So Bob Senior writes in, and
by the way, I wish I could label ourselves as faux comedy. That's really sorry, guys.
Bob Senior writes in. He writes, "You guys are great?" ? All
right, that's a
response.
Well, Yes. We are great. You nailed it, and as a professor, I'm glad you asked/complimented that.
Yeah, great job, Bob Sr.
Well, as we all know, you went through the school, because you said it, that you wrote a signature that said you went to school, I guess.
Well, he said he was a professor. It was sent from an NYU
said
email account.
prof@nyu.com.
It was Prof. Bob Senior Grammar Room 203 at nyu.edu.ny.gov.com.
It's a government company. Well, you know what? We appreciate it. He went through school, and then he taught at a school, so his opinion is valid.
He sent us
also, it was a compliment, so his opinion is valid.
Yeah. He sent us a picture, too.
Yeah?
Yeah. It is of tigers.
He sent us the tiger pic.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're using that as your wallpaper right now.
Well, my question is...
is this a question or a question meant?
No, it's a question. To him, is he a tiger?
I don't believe he is a tiger.
Well, I remember reading before that there was a tiger professor at NYU.
I think they brought a tiger to the school, but I don't think he was... he might have been maybe an adjunct, but I don't think he was a full-time faculty member.
No, I remember they called him Professor Bob.
Was it Professor Bob Sr.?
No, they didn't say that. I'm confident it was just Professor Bob. I'm 100% confident that it was just Professor Bob the Tiger.
Wait, was it just Professor Bob, or was it just Professor Bob the Tiger?
I'm confident. Do we have any more emails? Is just one? Or do you want me to read it?
Yeah, I think...
Well, I think you have a better reading voice, but here we go. It's not a question meant, though.
Okay.
We have two of those, and I'm not going to read both of them.
Yeah, I think you lose listeners with question mints.
This one's about video games.
Okay.
Which I'm surprised about.
Okay.
I'm not going to say the name of who it is.
Deal.
He says, in the email, what is your favorite color for game discs? Great question. Great question.
Now, for the record, did he clarify...
That's all he wrote.
Okay.
For game discs.
All right, well, then I'm going to give two answers, because there are two answers here.
Wait. No, it says game discus. It says... Do you think that's what he meant? Can we answer both?
Well, that's three answers then, for me. Because here's the deal. What I was going to ask was, is he talking the front of the game disc or the back of the game disc?
We got to figure that out. This is not from a professor.
This is three...
This is from notaprofessor@gmail.com.
Weird. So this is really going to be three answers. My favorite color for a game discus?
Yeah.
That's orange. No question.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it's easier to see at night.
We share that.
Yeah. The front of a game disc, I really like kind of like an inline.
It's also easier to see when you're hunting, too. We should have mentioned that.
Well, it's so that you don't shoot it by accident.
Well, it's so you don't think it's a deer flying through the air. Which happens. Anyway, you need to answer all these.
All right. Well, I am partial to the traditional, inlay of, the game cover or something, on the front.
I've never seen that before.
Really?
No.
I should show you some of the game design. They're little frescoes, on it.
You put soda on your game?
No, it's Pepsi.
I thought I was thinking of Fanta.
No, you're thinking of an elephant. You're thinking of ivory that comes from elephants.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
No, you're right.
And then for the back of the game disc, I generally like mauve.
Mauve?
Yeah.
That's a suave choice.
All right. We have two more. I'm going to read one for you.
You're going to read one for me?
For you to comment and answer.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right.
All right. This is from...
By the way, thank you to whoever that was.
Yes.
Oh, I told him the name. I said I wasn't going to say the name.
Well, you said...
I said his email name.
Yeah,
so everyone
that's not the
email
same
him.
thing.
Tell him how much you appreciate his great question.
All right. This is from Susie Anonymous. And Susie writes, Dear Santa, I want a bone...
A lot of dead air on the podcast this week. This guy. He wasn't going to laugh at the joke until I gave a smooth smile when he started it. And we were so close to a laugh-free podcast, everybody. But we're not there yet. We'll get there. Maybe episode 4 will be the laugh-free one. But for now, this kid can't keep it in when he thinks about Santa Claus. He still hasn't recovered, guys. It's going to slowly get to there. We should have had a stop clock on this. If you want to time out how long he's been laughing and email in, I'll give you a Steam game. I'll give you a few Steam games. He's still doing it. I think he just likes Santa that much.
Full transparency, I actually dropped something on my toe, and it hurt a lot, and I was swearing, and that's why my mic feed wasn't coming in, because I was really, like, illicit about this. There's a lot of really sexual things I don't think anyone wanted to hear.
Full transparency, he doesn't have feet. He dropped something on his leg stump.
Yeah, it hurts extra large because it's all exposed nerves right there.
Everyone knows that the amount of pain is determined by largeness. Hurts extra large, as he said.
All right. Well, now
was I supposed to answer that?
Now that the joke segment's over.
Was I thought we had another email.
Nope. I accidentally deleted it.
What? Boy. Well, that's too bad. I guess you guys have to write in again, because he deleted 1,000 emails there because he was too busy thinking about Santa while dropping stuff and reading explicit emails.
Well, when I dropped something on my leg stump, my arms flailed and I actually hit the delete all button.
Dude, we should have a thing where if we are reading an explicit email, we just say Santa Claus instead of it and make a fun Santa Claus thing. If we're going to say something really gross, we just talk about Santa Claus.
Kind of like it.
Yeah, guys. So prepare for next episode to be about Santa Claus. He's been in a couple video games.
Yeah, he was in Clay Fighter, I think.
Well, something like him.
Yeah.
He was in Gex the Gecko.
Was he?
That was a great game. Gex, the one for 64 that played.
I never played the one for 64.
Anyway, we're going to get to actual video game related content.
Believe it or don't.
You probably shouldn't. But
So anyway, last Friday, a little game came out called, it's an expansion, but it's a full standalone game too. It's called Fall of the Samurai, Shogun Total War 2.
I think it's Shogun 2, Total War.
Shogun Total War 2, Total War
Shogun 2, Total War, Fall of the Samurai.
I think that might be a palindrome.
You think so? Read it backwards.
No.
You just had to say Total War Medieval 2. All right. If it is a palindrome...
That is how that joke would have worked.
Yeah, if it's a palindrome... It's not a joke. You think everything's a joke today. It's very serious what we're doing.
Yeah,
That's why it's faux comedy.
We're doing God's work.
No. This is a fully something podcast. Because it's not God's work per se. It's more like I don't know.
Anyway, so Fall of the Samurai
really
comes
fun
out.
For Rod there for like 20 minutes.
Dude, you talking about me having dead air.
Oh, boy. This is not good. By the way, we have no advertisers this week, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Well, it's because of all my swearing. They all dropped out.
Honestly, we made too much money, so we don't need it.
Oh, yeah. Also, they all dropped out.
Well, both.
For this week.
Anyway, so, here's the deal. I'm going to talk about this a lot because I've been playing it a lot. Also, he's been playing it a lot. But the real thing is that I'm the only one who has the game, which gives me ultimate authority to talk about it.
It's true. But I will also talk about it. See, it's a positive thing that you're playing, that the campaign you're doing right now is the pro-Western campaign, and I'm doing a traditionalist campaign.
Well, it's one thing about you. You're always thinking about the podcast.
Yeah. It's my daily life.
Well, yeah. Every day.
I bring it home. I bring the podcast home 24/7.
Yeah, I guess. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
It was poorly worded.
But yeah, a lot of things are poorly worded. Like
Deal.
your birth certificate and that joke. Anyway, so the thing is, I downloaded it on what day it came out, and I played it for until 7 a.m., and it came out at like 12. It's really, 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 really fun.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Tom and I both really love the Total War franchise, especially Medieval 2 and Shogun 2. Those are pretty much those are pretty much the only ones we played.
Well, I played Rome, and I only played it for a little bit, though.
Yeah,
I would really like a Rome sequel, or if it won, yeah.
You want like the upgraded rules for Rome.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
I would definitely love that.
Yeah, but the point of the matter is that we really like Shogun 2 a lot. It cleaned up a lot of the issues that we.
It's my most hours in a Steam game.
Yeah,
I have over 120 hours. I had over 120 hours. Then when Fall of Samurai came out, which was Friday, I already have 130 hours as of Saturday.
Yeah.
So that means I've been playing it for 10 hours.
I helped a little bit there.
Still, it's ridiculous.
I'm just saying. But yeah, so the game improved. For those who don't know, Fall of the Samurai takes place during the time period in Japan where there's a war going on between the emperor, who is the actual leader of Japan, and the shogunate, who's like the de facto
shogunate.
leader.
You think that's like a candy bar they have in Japan? Shogunate?
It will be soon. We're in talks to get the shogunate bars.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it does.
That's got to be a thing.
So, it's a war between the traditionalist shogun forces and the emperor's forces, who are beginning to embrace the ways of Western warfare with guns, Gatling guns, steamships, ironclads, all that fun stuff.
I mean, there was guns in the other one, but whatever.
They were late game.
They were
guns
super late game.
Guns are
actually, I kind of like it because this is going to be a pretty open discussion here, guys. So don't even worry about focusness.
It's going to be free flowing. Some would call it.
No, the thing that's cool about Fall of Samurai is it takes place in a gameplay regard exactly after where this campaign thing, because the first techs you get on the tech tree are the last ones for Shogun 2.
Yeah, I do remember
which I thought
that
was cool, because it's like you actually progressed all that way.
Yeah,
and like it's a continued progression of it, which I think is a neat little touch.
Yeah, I noticed that too. But also, the thing of it is that they really do do a good job trying to. Can't think of what I was going to say. Oh, they really do a good job trying to encourage you to really kind of stick with what your side is supposed to be good at. Since I'm doing Shogun forces, we're mostly stick to traditional weapons like swords and spears and like samurai and all that stuff. And then the whole idea is that if you decide not to advance too much in the tech tree, more or less, the traditional units that you build are cheaper and more experienced, just because you're embracing the traditional ideas. Whereas in Tom's game, where Tom's one of the clans who embrace the Western powers, the more he advances down the tech tree and gets more modernization, the worse it is for him to train traditional units, but the more it makes sense for him to train Western units.
Yeah, I think there is the ability to do, if you wanted to convert to a more traditional society, I think it could, right?
Well, you can change your loyalties from.
Yeah, so you still have some freedom.
But I think if you're starting out as I don't think my clan's abilities would change.
No, because
my clan's abilities that I'm using, I have minus 10% to recruitment costs for traditional units.
Yeah.
So if I suddenly went over to the Emperor's
side... It'd be a
side,
mistake, but you could if you wanted to get different alliances, maybe.
Yeah, or you could have...
freedom, and I like that.
Or you could still have like a balanced force.
Yeah, yeah. Although still, here's one thing that was kind of cool but weird, is that even though I'm on a pro-Western thing, or I guess it's pro-modernization, we still had a small, civil war in relations to... Not civil war. Well, civil war amongst my clan, because everyone was mad about how quickly I was modernizing, which I thought was really cool. Because, I got to the final level of modernization, got to the lowest tech tree area, but, every single city wanted to revolt because I did it incredibly fast when I was out of wartime.
Yeah, that's like a net -6.
Yeah, and they were real bummed about it. So I had to immediately build a bunch of police stations and defend against rebel forces, which was cool.
Yeah.
But now that that's all done, we're now all for it, and it's totally rad.
Yeah.
The thing about Total War games, and, well, most RTSs in general, is you gotta have an imagination and say, and here was the Great War of the 1920s. Even though the game is 1860s. But regardless, yeah, you just gotta have fun and be in that world.
No, it's a really fun game. The stuff you can do is all really...
I'm gonna check the thesaurus for fun. Yeah. I need more words for that.
It's really entertaining.
Good. Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good word. It's entertaining for a lot of reasons. I like that. I just like the imagery of it all.
Well, that was in 2. It was apparent in 2 too, but the expansion still is great looking.
Well, no.
And the whole the loading screens are all great. And
but no, what I'm talking about is the idea the traditional samurai versus the untrained rifleman. Oh. I like that imagery a lot, and that features pretty prominently in this game for obvious reasons. Yeah. So it's you have, because we talked about this when we talked about it last week. It's kind of like The Last Samurai, the game. It's that general time period. So to see those battles where you have the inexperienced levied riflemen who aren't really soldiers, and the samurai who war is their entire way of life for the most part, and seeing them do battle, and seeing the samurai get cut down by dishonorable foes, more or less, who decide to use gunpowder, and then also see the samurai triumph over those same foes using their age-old techniques.
Depending on which one you choose, yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool. It's neat imagery.
It's a fun period of time.
It's an entertaining period of time.
Sorry, to be playing in.
Yeah.
It's a good theme for a game.
Yeah, it's something. I'm
not sure if the original Shogun had this time period, but I don't think it did.
It was 200 years before this.
Really?
Yeah, it was in the Sengoku Jidai.
Oh, well, that was a good period for that. Good call.
Yeah.
Not Shogun 2. I'm talking about Shogun 1, the game.
Shogun 1 was the same period as Shogun 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Because I don't know if it had this stuff. I think this is the only time when you'd get this kind of.
No, this is the newest. This is the most.
The latest.
Yeah, the latest Total War game that they said.
Yeah, and I really, really enjoy it.
Because you have text not only like Gatling guns, but you have telegraphs.
I actually just unlocked Gatling guns, and I really am excited to use it.
That is exciting.
Because I have to get to the highest level of artillery thing, and I haven't done it yet.
But you have ironclads, you have railroads, which you can use to make units travel very fast, which is a really nice feature.
Yeah, I have the ability to make it, but I haven't done it yet.
Tom was telling me about how in naval battles now wind doesn't matter as much since you're using steam power. Your ships can go against the wind and it makes moving them around a lot easier.
Actually, you know what? This might be slightly off track. Would you maybe want to tell a good war story to the listener about maybe a situation we had?
Yeah.
Maybe that would inspire him. Because let me tell mine.
I was going to start.
I'm already starting, though. Here's me. Look at me. I'm not even going to stop this line of opening my mouth and closing it. Here's me doing it.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I think it really gives people a feel of how, amazing one of these battles could be if they've never played an RTS, or don't understand why we would care so much about a boring old RTS game.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's my first time playing it, and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I just got it, and I was like, I'm not really even in a Shogun 2 mood. I'm not in an RTS mood lately. I was playing Deus Ex, and it's pretty good, and I was getting through it, but I was like, I'm not in an RTS mood. So anyway, I just start out, and I just rush into a first battle, and I have a boat off to the side, and I don't really know too much about the gameplay mechanics yet, but I go and I attack this thing, and I get counterattacked, and I'm clearly going to lose it, but I decide to fight it out. And I start the fight, and it's going pretty bad, but I see this button, and I'm like, I don't know what this is. It's the naval bombardment button. And I'm like, I'm into naval bombardments. That's going to be cool. And so we're getting rocked hard. We're going to lose the fight. But I do this naval bombardment. I put it in an area that's like where it should hit but could possibly hit my guys. But it's definitely on a line of their musketeers and their generals and such. And I'm like, I don't think this is going to help that much, even though it's cool. But we're getting rocked. We are actually retreating a little bit to not get totally wiped out when their general is immediately slaughtered by a giant naval bombardment, and most of their dudes are, and they immediately retreat when we start counterattacking. And it's totally awesome, and win the fight. And I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. It's better than graduating from high school. And everyone knows that feeling.
That's something everyone feels good about.
Yeah. Graduating from high school?
Yeah.
Yeah. No one feels bad about it.
Yeah. I'll tell one of my stories.
Please.
This is a proud one for me.
Give it that D marks flourish.
Oh, yeah. So, like I said, I'm a traditionalist force. So I have mostly an army of, spearmen, and, this was a battle of essentially just spearmen and my general's bodyguard. And we're fighting dudes with, muskets, advanced Western cavalry, archers and whatnot. So what I do at the very beginning of the battle is I split my forces into two main groups. Because the area that I started is flanked off by a forested area. So I have all my troops hide, except for essentially my general, who's the only one who the enemy can see. And so all the enemy forces charge right for where my general is. So they get over there, they run straight into the forest where all my spear guys are hiding. Then I take all the spear guys from the other forest, and I do a massive flanking maneuver, and we totally win this super heroic victory where we were outnumbered 2-1, and we win through this massive flanking maneuver that ends up catching them totally off guard and murders 3 enemy generals in that one battle alone.
Yeah. That's something that, you always wanted to do in Age of Empires.
No, it feels cool because that's the way that the traditional forces would fight. If they couldn't match up with the muskets, they would just draw them into a trap and then just encircle them and annihilate them.
Not only is it something that would work, it did work when it did it.
It was a good strategy.
The game's perfect in that kind of AI sense and that balance sense.
It proves once again that I'm capable of understanding even the most basic and simplest of military strategies.
Like
the surround the dudes strategy.
Still a real strategy, though. It's a modern technique. But no, that it's just great.
Yeah. There's nothing to hate there.
I mean, you're playing the game, you're like, well, this... Even the stupid, like, infrastructure building stuff is rewarding.
Yeah.
This was true of Shogun, too, though, and not necessarily the expansion.
I feel like they did cut down on a few things to get the game out.
Oh, yeah. The one thing that did bother me the most, and it bothered him, too, but is that they removed the pre-battle speeches.
Also, they removed the little movies when your agents are doing things.
That really annoys me, too. But, I mean, I wish... There's no reason to remove that.
Yeah.
They could have just put that in there.
Yeah, but I mean...
What I'm secretly hoping in my naive way is that it is in the game and it just was like a glitch that doesn't do them.
That'd be interesting. But yeah, so go out, spend $30 or whatever.
Don't even go out. Stay in and buy it on Steam because that's the only way you can buy it.
Really? They didn't do a disc release?
I don't think they did a disc release. I went to GameStop today and I didn't see it. GameStop, they're the gamiest. Oh, wait. They're not... Well, that was a free advertisement.
You're welcome.
Yeah. They've been begging for that.
Yeah.
But we're going to give it to them. But anyway, I think it's just on Steam.
Oh, well...
Because I don't think it's even released on, like, Origin or anything.
Well, no, because it's not EA. It's not an EA title.
Is it really only EA titles?
I think it's only EA on Origin.
Because Steam isn't just Valve titles.
Yeah, but why would you try to compete with Steam?
That's what they're doing.
Yeah, but they're doing it by offering a unique product. Instead of trying to branch out and trying to beat Steam at a market that it really can't beat it, they're offering a unique product that you cannot buy on Steam and create an exclusive product that you can't get there.
Yeah,
therefore, they don't really have to compete.
Yeah, it's still dumb though. We all know it's dumb.
What? It makes total sense. It's solid. It's solid marketing.
Yeah, I guess. I like how I just beat your logic.
Economics professors, please write in.
Don't write in. We all know that it logically makes sense, but it's still a douche move.
It's not a douche move.
Nobody wants to get another stupid service on their computer that's filled with crap.
Yeah, but it's like how the Apple Store doesn't sell Apple Store doesn't sell Mac products. It's exactly like that. No, it's like how the Mac Store doesn't sell Microsoft products. They just basically have a score exclusively for their product. Yeah. And that's how they're choosing to market it.
It's almost exactly the same thing, but I'm going to choose to ignore that.
And it's worked really well for Apple.
I'm going to choose to ignore it.
Anyway, follow Samurai, go out, learn a little bit of history, and then change that history.
Or don't.
Or also don't change that history.
You know, you got a freedom to be a general who chooses to not change anything. You know. But yeah, I'm rating it 1,000,000 out of 10.
I'm giving it my highest non-numerical rating, honorable.
I thought you were going to give it an A out of 10. But anyway, here's the deal, guys. We're going to wrap it up because we are far over time.
Yeah.
We're like 2 hours into this
one. We're almost at our 400th minute.
But here's the deal, guys. Before we get to our speed review section,
the classic,
our world famous speed review section, let me just tell you why we do this. Because maybe you guys don't know. But the key is, we at the Sons decided a long time ago that we were going to be the show with the most reviews.
We did do that.
And we already have, 20 in the bag?
We have more than that if you count like the actual segments where we talk about video games.
Yeah, we have all the reviews. What if the podcast does 10 game reviews a week?
This is only our 3rd episode. We're bordering on almost 50 game reviews already.
It's ridiculous. Guys, you don't need to go anywhere else.
You're getting the bang for your buck by listening to the SonsOfVidya do our speed reviews.
You don't have to go anywhere else.
You don't need to.
I made sure to say it slow like that so they could use it for a commercial for our show.
I like it.
What they're going to do is they're going to have commercials for our show on TV. Which is going to be weird. It's going to be black and white. I'm thinking out the commercial right here on the show.
No, I like. What if we just had the screen go blank and it was just parts of our podcast?
Yeah, and people would be like, "What is this?" Well, because they're not going to even say the name of the podcast.
No, obviously
or that
not.
It is a podcast.
Well, everyone knows.
That's some sort of radio show?
We have household voices by now. Everyone knows the smooth, mellow sounds.
Okay, honestly, a household voice would be great.
Yeah, it would.
I mean, if we'd
be like, "Welcome home, Mr. Johnson."
Yeah, we get installed in all the machines.
Yeah,
they'll be like, "You're just some guy, right?" And you're like,
Did you see that Verizon's offering like a whole home package system? It's really weird.
No, we're not talking about that.
I'm just saying it's weird.
I also haven't seen it, but no. Okay, imagine you're you. I know it's gonna be tough.
You can use the internet to turn on and off lights in your house now.
The internet turns on and off my lights. Anyway, pretend you're you, okay?
Okay.
Now I'm some slub, some douche, who happened to get the SonsOfVidya house package. Okay, I'm gonna turn it on.
Okay.
I'm home. Turn on the lights, please.
Why, of course, Mr. Johnson.
It could just be like that.
Lights in kitchen are on.
But okay, but
I've made you a sandwich.
My name isn't Mr. Johnson, though. I think it's going to be tough to program that. Do you only say Mr. Johnson?
Until my sponsors say otherwise.
Does the house say until my sponsors tell me otherwise? Or is that you? You need to stop doing an impression of yourself and please just come back. Come back, dude.
What happened? I was just in the past.
Oh, no.
I just witnessed the birth of everything.
Really? That's in the past? I thought that was in the future.
Anyway, what's going on with you?
Anyway, it's time for speed reviews. Woo! Speed reviews.
Here it comes. Speed reviews.
That's our new theme song. It's going to go underneath the other theme song.
Tom and D, speeding it up.
Anyway,
taking speed.
We're not taking speed.
Oh, right.
This list is apparently future games that are coming out that people are excited for. We got it off of GameSpot.
GameSpot, yeah.
Not GameSpot. GameSpot. Spot.
Do you think GameStop and
It's an anagram for GameStop.
I was about to say, do you think they're practically the same name?
Yeah, I think it definitely is the same thing. It's a conspiracy. That GameSpot isn't paying us when we're doing GameStop advertisements. Yeah.
Anyway, these are games that are coming out.
You're getting a letter, guys.
Games that are coming out.
That people are excited for. And we're going to review all of them, even though they're not out yet.
Here it goes.
Advanced copies.
Well, yeah, because we're a prominent podcast.
We're the most prominent.
All right, Tom, Prototype 2.
Prototype 2, why would they release a game that isn't even done yet? I can't rate it. Next one is Diablo 3.
Diablo 3, it's the third time. It's the third game in the Diablo franchise. It's very popular. I think it's about exorcism. I give it 666 out of 10. The Secret World.
Secret World? I want to live there. 10 out of 10. Risen 2, Dark Waters.
I had trouble playing this game because the waters were so dark. I think I got bitten by a jellyfish. I give it Risen 2 out of 10. Dragon's Dogma.
Well, you start off with a dog. His name is Spot. And you gotta find his mom, who is not a dragon. It's a pretty dumb concept. 1 out of a dragon's 10. Risen 2, Dark Waters.
I had a lot of trouble playing this. The water's really dark, and I think I got stung by a jellyfish. I give it a Risen 2 out of 10. Minecraft, Xbox 360 edition.
So Minecraft's a pretty good game. You play it. You're in a coven, and you gotta make mines with your witchcraft. But this one's for the 360, so I don't think you do that. Anyway, you get a 4 out of 10. Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City, which is how
Albert Wesker walks out in his backyard and sees that there's a family of raccoons living in his dumpster. Now it's up to only Albert Wesker to take out this city of raccoons that's in his dumpster. I give it an Albert Wesker out of 10. Max Payne 3.
Max Payne 3, 3 out of 10. That's it. Prototype 2.
Why did they release? Why don't they just call it Beta 2? I mean, it's not even done.
Release the game.
Half the NPCs are just blocks still. There's no voice acting. I give it a 2 out of 10.
How can you even rate? It's not done yet.
Anyway, that's it.
We
did
it.
Thanks a lot for putting up with the podcast.
Come back next week. Email us and look at the blog spot. Thank you. Bye.